What if the parts of your story you've tried the hardest to avoid are actually the doorway to your healing?
My body was constantly in fight or flight my entire life. I suppressed my emotions my whole life. And when you heal yourself, you actually heal your ancestral line. You will live through that lens of victimhood. It will come up like a volcano. It's less painful to feel physical pain than it is to have the emotion come up.
So much of the things that were going on were tied to a lot of the belief systems that I had.
Just your energy field alone is healing to people.
Welcome to another episode of the Starter Girlz Podcast, where girls isn't about gender, it's about grit. We celebrate the dreamers, the builders, and the difference makers bold enough to start. I'm your host, Jennifer Loehding, and wherever you are tuning in today, we are so glad to have you. Well, I am so excited about my guest today. We were just kind of like trying not to talk too much before this episode because I have a feeling we have so much to talk about and we just didn't want to like get it all out. But I think this is going to be an amazing conversation. And so I'm going to open up with this today. What if the parts of your story you've tried the hardest to avoid are actually the doorway to your healing? My guest today is someone who's walked through pain, not around it, and in doing so discovered a completely different way of living, feeling, and showing up. And so you guys are going to get to hear from her in just a few minutes. But before we do this, you know what we got to do. Got to do a shout out to our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Productions. Need to add excitement to your YouTube videos or some expert hands for editing? Look no further. Walt Mills is the solution you've been searching for. Walt is not only your go-to guy for spicing up content, he's the force behind a thriving film production company with numerous titles in the pipeline. Always on the lookout for raw talent, Walt is eager to collaborate on film and internet productions. With a background deeply rooted in entertainment and promotion, Walt Mills leverages years of skills to give you the spotlight you deserve. Want to learn more about Walt and his work? Head on over to waltmillsproductions.net and let your content shine. And with that, I do want to make a mention to head on over to startergirlz.com. And why do I say that? For 3 reasons. 1, because if you have missed an episode, it is a great place to catch up. It's also a great place to sign up for our community newsletter, and you can stay in the know of all these fabulous episodes that go out. And then also, if you are an aspiring creator, an entrepreneur, or maybe you're in the thick of it right now and you want to know what your number one success block is that may be hindering your success, well, guess what? I've got you covered. You can go over there and take my 2-minute quiz and it will tell you exactly what block may be affecting your success right now. So as I always say, head on over to startergirlz.com and do your thing. All right. I think we're ready to welcome the guest on today. So my guest, Shannon Grace, founder of the Graceful Healer. Her work centers around emotional healing, somatic release, and helping individuals reconnect with themselves on a deeper level. After starting her career in the corporate world, Shannon found herself on a very different path, one rooted in healing and transformation. What began as her own journey to process and overcome childhood trauma has evolved into a life's calling, helping others heal by first learning how to truly feel. So Shannon, I'm just going to stop right there because I have more I can say, but I want to let you do all this part of this. And so I'm just going to welcome you to the show. We are so glad to have you here today.
Thank you for having me, Jennifer. I'm like you said before, I'm like, we got to stop talking because we're going to like talk for the next hour and then have to record it after that. So we're very aligned with our stories and like, yeah. Okay. So I guess I'll start at, when I started in corporate, or do you want to talk about?
Yeah, that's my first thing. Yeah, let's start there because that's my first question. I want to know, like, what was that shift? You were in corporate. Like, where did this happen where you decided, okay, we're moving into this other space? Because, like, was there a defining moment or was it sort of kind of this gradual process? Kind of walk us through that.
Right. It was definitely gradual. And I started out early in my career in tech sales. My stepdad was at a company doing pretty much the first voice over IP phone where you have your desk phone way back when, like the younger generation will not know, but you were stuck to your desk. And if you went somewhere and talked to somebody else or in the bathroom, you couldn't have your phone. So we were the first phone to put on your hip. So hospitals, Home Depot, the mall, so they can all walk around and have their phone. So that was really big at the time. And I moved my way up in the corporate company pretty fast. And so I started just answering phones, and then 6 months later, I was in sales. And so I was making my numbers, going to President's Club and getting bonuses, and it was super fun because I was young. And then I met my husband and had 2 kids. So I quit because I wanted to stay home with my kids, but couldn't stay still. Like, I'm a Virgo sun, Gemini rising, Sag moon. Like, my mind just won't stop. And so I thought of this idea in yoga class. I came up with this product. It took me a year to make the prototype, and then I brought it to market. So I had my undergarment business for 13 years while I was raising my boys. And then COVID hit and closed the doors. And so I was trying to get back into corporate because that's kind of all I knew. Corporate and then entrepreneurship. And so I was really tired after my business closes. I was doing everything in my business. I was just like, I'm like, okay, I just want to work for somebody else and go sit at a desk and leave and go home. Okay, I have all this experience, but I'm older now and nobody's hiring. So they want the young kids straight out of college with no experience. They're getting these jobs starting out at like 70, 100,000 a year. And I'm in my 40s and have all this knowledge and experience, but nobody will give me the time of day. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. What do I do now? So I worked at a med spa. I did skincare sales, and then I was a legal recruiter, medical recruiter. I sold cybersecurity. I was in real estate, did property management. Nothing was sticking. Nothing was resonating. And like, I just feel like the soul is getting sucked out of my body with all of these jobs. It's just paying the bills, and it's a dead end. Because at the end of these careers that I was having, the universe is like, you're not supposed to be doing this anymore. So I was getting laid off. Like, the company would get acquired 6 months later, and I was laid off. The small company couldn't, pay for me anymore, laid off. The next company, their budget was too low, laid off. And so I'm like, okay, all right. So on the side, I've always been interested in anything like esoteric, like mediumship, spirit, astrology. I started to study astrology, numerology, and then Reiki. I got called to Reiki. I got, Reiki master, I was going to say third degree. It's third level. And then I learned transcendental meditation. I did a bunch of research on TM and learned the science behind it and how it literally rewires your brain. And I had so much social anxiety, because I didn't realize it until now, doing this somatic energy work that I do with Dr. John Amaral, that my body was constantly in fight or flight my entire life. So when I started doing this work with somatic energy healing, I was in dorsal vagal shutdown, meaning you're in such a shutdown state. You can't even, like, there's no freeze or fight or flight. There's nothing. You're just like, your nervous system is so shut down.
Yeah.
So after getting laid off for the millionth time, I'm like, okay, I've been doing Reiki and then sound healing. I got certified just like you and like everything. So sound healing, certified death doula because I'm called to the dying, sound healing, meditation facilitator, breathwork facilitator, Reiki master, pure bioenergy practitioner, and then my latest one is somatic energy healing. And I just felt like something was missing with each modality. Like, okay, I love Reiki and I love pure bioenergy. I love sound healing, but there's like something missing. Okay, so I found somatic energy healing. And now, fast forward, it was a manifestation. I saw Dr. John Amaral on Netflix under a Goop Lab episode with Gwyneth Paltrow. And I was like, energy healer. So it was during COVID. I click on it and I'm like, oh, whoa, what is that modality? And who is that? I'm going to learn from you. I don't know how, but it's going to happen. 5 years later, I'm learning from him. And so I think somatic energy healing, like, I don't see another modality being more powerful. I didn't realize how disconnected I was, and a lot of other people I was, from my own body. I didn't know how important it was. I didn't know I was even disassociating. I would constantly just like zone out constantly, and I just didn't know why. Now I know my soul leaves my body because my body was never safe to be in. And so when that vessel isn't safe, your spirit just constantly like, I'm going to go into the infinite field and just float around, because being in a body, it's too dense, it's too harmful. nothing feels safe. And so connecting back with my body through this work, okay, I suppressed my emotions my whole life. Didn't know I was doing that. It was just a protective mechanism
Right.
and a pattern that I was in for safety and survival as a kid. And so I'm like, oh man, okay, I have a lot to unpeel. This onion has many, many layers, but that's why we're here in this lifetime, is to heal those wounds. And when you heal yourself, you actually heal your ancestral line. I have two boys, they're older. It'll heal them, it'll ripple, it'll heal my mom, my grandma, and go on to the lineage. And so people don't realize like we're all connected as well. And this is more
Right.
spirituality. And it's like a woven tapestry, like each thread, we're all piece of a thread, a part of this tapestry. So when you heal yourself, you're helping heal everybody, the collective. So it's like much bigger than just us when you work
Right.
on yourself. So somatically, as you're saying, I do practices now, just even touching your body, and you're like, hey, just being present, putting my hands on my heart. I'm starting to do Qigong every morning, and I'm focusing on my liver. I never thought I was an angry person because I've repressed it my
Yeah.
entire life. And
Yeah.
so when anger does come up, I'm like, that's not me. I'm sweet little Shannon. I'm the energy healer. I'm not allowed to be angry. But
Right.
boy, has it been bubbling up the past couple of weeks with everything that's going on collectively, because we feel it too. And I feel this anger coming up, and I'm like, okay, I need to cleanse my liver, because liver holds frustration and anger, and it's okay to have that come up. So part of what I teach, when you're on my table, I can help liberate that energy through somatic energy healing by palpation. I can just palpate your active system, which is your muscles and your tendons. That correlates with your emotional system. So if there's a lot of tension in your active system, on your cervicals, your thoracic, your lumbar, your sacrum, your coccyx, okay, you're repressing your emotions. I can tell just by even looking and palpating your passive system. So I'll go from your atlas, your C1, all the way down to your coccyx. So I had to learn anatomy, because
Yeah.
Dr. Emerald's a chiropractor. So I had to learn the spine and palpation. If it's like rigid, let's just say, compare it to a steel rod. Wow, you have a lot of passive tension. That means you are very, very low on life force energy. Life force is your chi, your prana, the
Yeah.
it's what gets you up in the morning. It
Right.
gets you, like, if you have no life force, you're dead. So if you're low on that, you can't even like think straight. You're in survival mode. So you have to have those fields energized in order to like feel healthy and whole as a person. So I can help energize those for you on the table. But when you're off the table, that's where I like to educate people. Okay, here's a list of things that you can do. If you're low on life force, you can do these. If you are have too much emotional buzziness in your muscles, you're repressing your emotions, this is a way to release them. So I'll tell them about like the scientific background of your limbic system in your brain. It recognizes emotion through tone, vibration, and movement. So next time, because thoughts can
Right.
trigger, it's just like real life to your brain. Your brain
Yeah.
doesn't know the difference. And so if they say you have a thought that comes up that's very uncomfortable, say your boyfriend cheated on you, your first love at 16, and you're like, oh, like I just so hate that time and space. It was so hurtful. And so what we do, and it tries to protect us, we shove it down. I don't want to think about that. So you're like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to clean the kitchen, or I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to go to the gym so you just press it back down, and it gets caught somatically in your body. So it'll either make you feel physical pain, or you will live through that lens of victimhood. Like, that happened to me. For the rest, everything that you're going to do is going to be through that lens until that energy gets freed. That's going to be your life. And think about all the things that happen in life.
Right.
Think about everything that you've accumulated throughout life, emotional stuff that you've suppressed. And then when something comes up and it hits that suppression point, Michael Singer calls it samskaras, hits that samskara. Dr. Amaral calls it adaptation patterns. It's going to make you react in a certain way. And so people who trigger that for you, you're just going to like come out with anger or sadness, and then you'll just repress it back down. No, no, no. We need to talk about this now, how it's healthy to have emotions. and this is how you have them, and it's okay. It's okay, because I was so repressed with my emotional state because of survival. If I ever showed emotion, I was like running for my life in my home.
Right.
And so even if I was too happy, I got like beat and yelled at. So it's like crying. No, no, no. There's no crying. There's no showing any emotion. So I totally stoic,
Internalized
repressed
it.
it,
Yeah.
internalized it. So I have a lot to uncover, which I'm starting now, which some people like me who have repressed it their whole life, it will come up like a volcano. Cause I was
Mhm.
like, John,
Yeah.
I'm like puddles on the floor and I'll have to cancel plans and cancel work like this, like this is really bad. And he was like, it'll come, it just needs to come up. And soon when you learn how to deal with emotions, you won't be a puddle on the floor anymore. You'll just know to like move your body, tone and vibration, and then your limbic system will go, oh, that's emotion, and it's like a tuning fork in that spot, and it's like, oh, it's recognizing it, then it'll release it, and then it'll be not in your body somatically stuck anymore. So there's all these tools, all these tricks beyond my table that you can do every day, and the more you do it, the more your body knows it's safe. Okay, I can release emotions at this time, and I'm not going to be in survival mode. I'm safe now. So I constantly, for me, I have to work on telling my body I'm safe every single day. Even if you verbally say it,
Yeah.
I'm safe in my body, doing the Qigong, doing exercises just to like just move, because I know my fascia system is very tight because my passive. And it's just like brushing your teeth. You kind of just get used to it, and you're like, it actually feels good, instead of like, oh, I have to put that on my list, and I have to meditate, and I have to move my body, and I have to let emotions flow. You know what it's like to have it repressed, and to not feel or have emotions come up, and you know how it feels to let it slowly free. Then you want the other state. You never want to go back to the old way, and so
No, I agree.
yeah, you look
Yeah.
forward. So
I
this work,
agree.
yeah, has been
So
changing.
yeah, and so all of this that you're talking about, no, and I agree because I've had to do this work, and so I know the power in it, and once you're on the other side and you see it, you can't really unsee it.
Mm,
Um, It's interesting to me because I've also studied transcendental meditation,
yeah.
and so I'm familiar with that. Took the whole thing on that. Actually did the course and took that. Did that with my she's now 29-year-old daughter, but she was a teenager
Oh,
at the time. Um, but a lot of this stuff, like you're talking about this, holding the body. I just had this conversation the other day because I was talking to somebody about, because this past week I had overcommitted myself this past week. It was spring break, and
yeah.
I also have a pet sitting business out on the side over here. And so,
Yep.
as you can probably imagine, every holiday that gets really, really busy. I
Yes.
also do have sitters because I do run the business. And so I have contract sitters that work with me, and I
Uh-huh.
divvy jobs out as I can. But sometimes, as you know, when you're running business, it's sometimes just easier to do the work
It is. Just get
because
it
you got to
done and over
explain.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to explain.
Nope.
I don't have the energy to babysit. I don't have all this. So what ends up happening is, this week, to give you an example, I overdid it. I just did way too much. And on Sunday, I woke up and my neck was hurting, my jaw was hurting. Well, I've also been diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia. And so, if you don't know what that is, it's a nerve pain in your face. It is like the worst freaking nerve pain. Stems from the nerve, and your chiropractor will know what it is because
Okay.
I've been to many chiropractors over this. I have put it into remission, but every now and then it
It
will rear
flares
its
up.
ugly head, and it's never
Mhm.
as bad as it was at the time when I got diagnosed because,
Okay.
for the most part, I take care of myself.
Yeah.
However, this weekend I woke up and I had this like severe neck ache. The next day I get up,
Oh.
my jaw's hurting, my teeth are hurting, and
Oh,
all
no, no,
week I just
no.
was dealing with this. And I was telling somebody, I said, that is always my cue that I know that when my body is starting to feel things, pains and aches and things are coming up,
Mhm.
I've been too stressed out. I need to chill out. I need to like take it down a notch.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, when I just to backpedal this one, I got diagnosed with this disease back in 2012. It took me 4 years before I got out of that victim mode that you were talking about, you were
Yeah.
referencing, before I
Like, I
realized,
don't blame you. You have to give yourself grace too, going like, "Why did this happen
yeah,
to me? I'm, like, a good person,
right.
I work hard, I have my kids," and so it's, like, no blame for that. Like, yeah,
Yeah. Well, it
did
was
that.
also too, Shannon, it was that I didn't know what I didn't know. You know what I mean? Like at that time, I didn't really know.
Right.
And I will tell you, this is what I will say. when I made that decision, when I finally one day I got up and I was like, dude, this is it. Medicine's not going to cure this. I am going to have to look for alternative
Yep.
methods to cure this disease, because I realized at this point, this was no longer like a broke arm, heart attack. You got diet. This is a chronic condition that I'm
Yeah.
now going to have to live with. So I'm going to have to figure out how to navigate this.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like when I started really doing that, that's when I started really learning and recognizing that everything we do, like you said, everything we do impacts our lives. And it's not just in our health, it actually shows up in all areas. So it will show up in our relationship, it will show up in our finances, it will show up in our careers, because we will limit ourselves. And so, what I started doing, I'll tell you this, I mean, and none of this is ever an overnight process, but as I started, and here we are in 2026, this started in 2012. So, what are we now, 14
Yeah.
years in this?
Wow.
14 years I've been doing this.
Wow.
Here's the other side of that. As I started to clean up, the gateway was my health. That was the entryways, because I was sick. I had to cure
Yeah.
some. But
Uh-huh.
that unleashed a lot of things. And as I started working on healing the inner parts of Jennifer, not just about the disease, but the inner parts of Jennifer,
Mhm.
all these other things started to heal up. And so the really interesting thing about that is I ended up getting diagnosed with a really equally disturbing disorder that is weird, that came in almost 10 years to the date. I got diagnosed with another weird disease. I'm convinced they are somehow all connected. We just haven't
Right.
found the connection yet. But
Yep.
what I will tell you is, when I went through the second disorder, it was hard, but it did not take me 4 years to figure out how to navigate that thing, and I still deal with it pretty much every day. I still have things I have to deal with it, but I'm able to get through that because I learned how to navigate that in the beginning. And that took all these things that you're talking about. I really when I started learning the nervous system training, I did that a couple years ago. And the reason I did that, because you mentioned social anxiety, I
Yeah.
was having severe freaking panic attacks. Because I was so ill, like I was not feeling good. And
Right.
this is so stupid. I was panicking that I was never going to get better. I was
'Cause not
panicking that I was.
stupid. Anybody would. You're like, "Why am I getting diagnosed with a
But
serious?"
the stupid part is the vicious cycle that I was in, because I was panicking. I
Yeah.
wasn't getting better. You see what I'm
I
saying?
know.
That's
Yeah.
where the
Okay, that's the
insanity was
stupid
coming
part.
in,
You're like,
because it was like I'm panicking that I'm not getting better, and I'm not getting better because I'm panicking.
yeah.
So that is why I studied the nervous system training, because I had to find some tools and some techniques and some ways to interrupt that pattern, like, right,
Yeah.
interrupt the pattern so that I could continue to work on the thought process, but I had to physically interrupt my body,
Yep.
because the loop was in there and I was stuck in fight or flight. And here's the crazy thing, Shannon, just to show you the magnitude of that fight or flight that you're talking about and being stuck.
Yeah.
I was telling my husband this story about how, like, I have a really high threshold for pain. I mean, I suffered migraines. I got diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, which is actually labeled a suicide disease. It's that painful. I got
Oh.
diagnosed with sphincter of Oddi dysfunction, which is also another extremely painful disorder. But here's what's so crazy. I don't take any pain meds. Like, I don't even like Tylenol. If you see
Right.
me pull out Tylenol, I'm in
It's
pain.
really
Like, it's
bad
real.
today.
I'm in pain. I'm in pain. Okay, so here's what's crazy. I will, like, stub my toe or cut my finger or run into the wall, and I will start panicking. Like, I will start panicking that
Yeah.
what's what's gonna happen after? Like, what's gonna happen after? Is it gonna get worse than I just stubbed my toe? You know what I mean?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
my body gets hung up sometimes in the loop, and I have to interrupt. I have to be like, Jennifer, interrupt it. And I either have to go, like, splash water on my face, or I will go do a mantra, like I will have an affirmation. Like, I have to interrupt
Interrupt the
the
thought.
process, because you're right. Your body will get stuck in that loop,
Yep.
and you have to work and be aware to break the loop that you're in.
Do.
And so, the reason I share this is because like, I don't hide these things, because
Right.
I think it's fair to let people know that, hey, look, this is a process. We're not perfect. We have to continue to work at these things,
Not
because I
a
think people think there's an end all. They think you start something and you finish it and that fixes, and no. These
no.
things, these wounds, these things we get,
Yeah.
whether it be this thing I'm talking about or the unpacking of the traumas and the things that we go through, it doesn't matter when the trauma's placed, whether it's a child, in the middle from something that happened. It doesn't matter. They're in
Right.
there,
Yep.
and we have to basically unwind them. We have to release them. And all
Yeah.
this stuff you're talking about, yes, the somatic release, all of that, that is the way
Mhm.
that we get it out. And like I'm telling you, I'm all over your stuff. Like you look at me, you'll laugh at the things I do because the other day I was starting to panic and I'm like, today is a great day to be brave. You might as well start now. You have the power to change circumstances. Any day you decide, let today be that day. That's my mantra. That is my
Amen.
freaking mantra. And I'm telling you, sometimes, Shannon, 10 times later, I'm still saying that mantra. And
Yeah.
eventually what'll happen is
You down.
it'll pass it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine again. I'm
Yeah.
back to normal again.
Yeah, because it's that energy, like, energy, it it always wants to move, and so even if it's, like, caught in a circle in your body, it's still going around and around, so
Yeah.
that's that loop that you're experiencing is that energy trying to come up, and the
Right.
fact that you're, like, acknowledging it, it's acknowledging it. When you don't acknowledge it,
Yeah.
and you get up and go for a run or clean the house, it's like you're shoving it back down, so you're letting it come,
Right.
let the thoughts come, and you interrupt them with, like, another mantra, and so that's, like, one tool and
Right.
just being aware, I think, is the first step, just being aware, and
Yeah.
then not trying to fix it. And so when emotion comes up,
Yeah.
it's not trying to wish it away or what do I do to get rid of it, just recognizing it's coming up and just letting it be. And then it puts your body in, like, less of a defense mode, and then it's
I
like, "Okay, I
agree.
don't need to fix this," and have anxiety about it, like, "Oh my god, I need to get rid of it." No, okay, notice it. Okay, and it's okay the way it is. And so a lot of times when I have thoughts come up, my body will hurt, and I didn't know why. So if I
Yeah.
have a painful thought come up, my heart will hurt, like, really bad, and so what Dr. Amaral told me is it's it's less painful to feel physical pain than it is to have the emotion come up. So your brain
Yeah.
actually goes, "That emotion's too painful. I'm gonna make it have physical pain." So
Redirect the pain, right?
direct the pain. And so you're like, okay, next time that happens. So while I do, I was like, okay, I'm having pain in my chest now because I had a thought. I'll put my hands on that part of my chest and just breathe into it, not try to fix it, not try to wonder, well, what memory is this? What emotions coming up? Like what's happening? No, shut up, brain. You're
Yeah.
fine. Just putting your hands and just acknowledging it. And then your body just relaxes and not trying to fix it because if you try to fix it, you're going to have anxiety. What is it? What do I need to do next? Like I want it to go away, and that just puts you in fight or flight. So
Right.
just having it be, and then okay. And a lot of times when you sit there, the emotion will come up, or sometimes memories do
Mhm.
pop up, and you're like, oh, that's what that is. And it can be scary. A lot of people are so afraid of feeling emotion, having those thoughts come up, because we all have those times and spaces where I don't know, we have secrets. Maybe you didn't do
Right.
something that was so nice back then and you don't even want to think about it anymore. So we have to face our shadows, and we're all not perfect. We're all incarnated at this time and space to learn. And so when you sit through that discomfort of the feeling of the thought coming up, that's when it's going to release. It's when you
Yeah.
try to wish it away, it's when it gets repressed. And then, and then it causes all these different ailments for you. So we
Yeah.
need to not like, I love that you do somatic work because even like splashing the water on your face,
Mhm.
interrupting the
Yeah.
thoughts with the positive thoughts, like people don't know to do that. And it seems so
Right.
simple, but it's so effective. And just coming back to your body, putting your hand in cold water, that's another one I've heard is like
Mhm.
so many things that we can do. And you just have to find something that resonates with you
Yeah.
and just keep doing it and interrupting those thoughts and then coming back to your body and doing a breath and even just like touching your fingers and like
Mhm.
feeling, closing your eyes. I did this yesterday. I stopped at a farmer's market in Malibu, and the lady who owned it, she was like, come meditate with me. I'm like, what is this place? Okay. So I put my tray of like vegetables and fruit down, and she was like, breathe in. And we did this little meditation, and she grabbed this other little kid that was there, and she's like, put your fingers together. I was like, how
Yeah.
beautiful is this? Just feeling the chair beneath your butt, your
Yeah.
back table, your fingertips. It brought your mind back to the present moment and your body. And then it was like 3-minute meditation. And I feel like a completely different human. And it's like we
Mhm.
forget we can just do that. And it doesn't have to be in the ashram. meditating for 5 hours a day, like TM,
Right.
you do it
Right.
twice a day for 20 minutes.
Right.
Sometimes you can't. Even
Right.
doing it for 3 minutes, sometimes, like, in the car when you're pulling up to go to the grocery store, like, I'm just gonna take a second and just find my breath again. And breathing techniques, like, you can breathe in 4, hold for 2, do the box breathing, and when you breathe out for longer, it's telling your nervous system that you're safe, because you wouldn't be able to do that breathing if you're running for your life.
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
little stuff like that, just even 3 breaths like that, and
Right.
it's just your body, you can actually feel your nervous system just relax. And so I feel like in this lifetime, for me, if I master my nervous system by doing all these techniques every single day, I have to, because I was born with fight or flight. I was just My nervous system has been conditioned to be in that way my entire life. So I know it's something I'm gonna have to work on probably forever, and that's fine.
Right.
My soul asked for this. And then your inner child.
Yeah.
Your subconscious is your inner child. So your subconscious brain was programmed between 0 and 7. Stuff that you don't even remember conditioned you. Your parents, your teachers, friends, stuff that happened on the playground. And so when you just know that some of your behaviors are on autopilot and it's your little child self driving the ship. So you're like, okay. So I went to therapy a long time ago. I haven't been in a long time just because talking for me doesn't really do much. It's more, it does help, but for me, somatic helps a lot more. And then talking, yes, helps. You can do both. But
Right.
I remember my therapist saying, the times when you didn't have a parent to go to, you picture your little self, say, sitting on the bed, and you going in as an adult version of you, and going and hugging the little Shannon, the
Right.
little Jennifer, telling them they're smart, everything's gonna be okay, and not to worry, and parenting your child self, because I didn't get that growing up. I got no comfort. I was abused. It's just like I was alone my whole life, and so um, doing that for yourself can help heal that time
Right.
and space. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you on all of this. And it's interesting, when you do the work. I mean, not everybody obviously does this work, but I think for those of us that are, I don't even know what that is. I had somebody once say, call it like light seekers. There are certain people I feel like that. And I don't know if that's because I often believe that it's because we have a voice, and maybe we don't know we do, but we have a voice, and there's a reason that we're given those things so that we can help other people with them.
Yep.
But again, like I'll say it again, I think that, yeah, it's so much of what we, like, even like when I give you an example, like when I was doing my work, I realized that so much of the things that were going on were tied to a lot of the belief systems that I had. And it's so interesting now because I'm in such a very different place that it's so weird to me, the boundaries that I've learned to set up, like, even just to give you an example, when I meet somebody, most people, I like most people, but there are sometimes I meet somebody and there's just something that I'm just not liking. I'm
Yep.
not liking. And
Yeah.
I have a friend that calls it my spidey sense
Yeah.
because I will be like,
It's
I just don't like,
energy.
I can't, I feel bad because I don't want to not like the person,
Right.
but I'm just like, there's something about this that I don't like and I don't feel good about it and I want to do it.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a place in my life where, for so long I would like sort of question that and negate that. And I'd be like, oh, you're overreacting. But I know I learned
Mhm.
that this is a hypervigilance. This is something that you learned it too.
Yep.
I know
Mhm.
I did because we had to navigate things like emotions, from our families we had to navigate things, and it made us hyper vigilant. It made us extremely aware of our surroundings, people. So
Yep.
like it's crazy enough, Shannon, that I can walk in a room and I can tell when somebody's uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
can tell that even when I'm doing this podcast, I can tell when the person on the other side is sort of feeling nervous, and I can
Yep.
just tell. I can pick up
Yep.
on it. And
Yep.
and the beauty of that, I say two things. It's a gift and a curse at the same time.
Yep.
It's a gift because it will
Mm.
allow me to be able to read the room. I can
Yep.
read people and I can read the room and I can tell when I need to back off or push forward. It's
Yep.
very seldom that I'm confused. If I'm confused, the person's just really Maybe a psychopath. I don't know, because I'm like,
Let
it's
me read a
very
psychopath.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
most people, I feel like I can tell, I can listen to the things they say, how they
Right.
respond, the tone, and I can pick up on a lot of cues if I just sit back long enough and listen. And so it's a gift in that regard. It's also sometimes a curse because I also feel people's emotion, and that's where those boundaries that I've had to really work on
Right.
over the years, and that's the beauty of this deep side of this work is that it's given me freedom now to be able to say, no, I'm not going to do that, or I don't want to do that. It doesn't feel right. I'm just not going to do it. And you're not going to make me feel bad about it because I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Whereas used to be, I'd say no, I'd feel guilty about
Yep.
saying no. Now I'm like, look, I got too many pet sitting gigs right now. And no, I'm not taking another one. As much as I love your cat and your dog, I'm just not taking another one right now. You know what I mean? It's like that, or
Yeah.
a client, whatever it is. It's
Yeah.
just that ability to build those boundaries. And I think that is the result of this work that you're talking about. Because when you start getting comfortable and grounded, you really start tapping into another side of us, which I've had several people come on here and talk about that. And one of my favorite was my guest Ryan Gottfriedson. He's a Cal State professor, and
Mhm.
he said that we have a being side and a doing side of us. And most people build themselves up on their doing side, which is all their accolades. It's their
Right.
credentials.
Yep.
That's how they build their confidence. But that's not how all that is derived. Our confidence comes from the being side, which is a lot of the work you're talking about, what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
It's that inner work of healing ourselves. That's how you
Yeah.
build the being side, right? And
Yeah.
so whether you do this, because we think we may not know it, but we all have the inner demons and the stuff in there that we
We
got to
all
work
do.
on. We all have it, right?
Every single person does.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
if you look at this from a place of, I should just do this because it's going to make me a better human being. It's going to make me more confident. It's going to make me be able to set boundaries better. It's going to increase let's talk about business. It's going to increase my performance.
Yeah.
It's going to increase my relationships. You know what I
Yep.
mean? If you think of it from that angle,
Right.
it's exciting, right? It's
So
exciting.
exciting. And I'm like you, where hypervigilance, it's like you take what we were talking about before, what you view as like weakness, that's actually your strength. And so
Yeah.
same, like hypervigilance, like I can read energy, I can read your subtle face, body movements and cues. And like, I can tell when people are like, when I'm talking to them and they totally checked out and I need to
Oh,
just
yes. That's the
conversation.
worst.
But don't you see people who they just keep talking and talking and you're like, the person checked out 10 minutes ago. Like,
Yeah.
can't you see what I see? And it's just like,
Yeah.
but it's my
That's when
strength.
I leave. That's what Shannon, I'm like, "Okay, I've talked too much. I'm out. They're bored. I'm
Yeah,
out."
right. Like, why
I'm like,
waste your
"I'm
time
leaving. Goodbye."
anymore?
Yes, you
Yeah, it's
know.
like, okay, you're done. Now I'm done. Like, see ya. And so it just blows my mind how people are so not socially aware. And
Yeah.
so the stuff that I thought like I'm too sensitive, I'm hyper vigilant, like, oh my gosh, now it's my strength. And I use it within being a healer because I can
Yeah.
tell everything. I can feel your energy field now. I know like the thoughts that you're having and why you're having them because I can palpate your system and know what pattern you're in. I know
Yeah.
like adaptation pattern 6 to get technical. It's victim, like something happened to me. And if you're constantly in that pattern, it's like something did happen to you, but
Right.
you're living through that lens. And so everything that you do and say is going to be, I'm a victim. And it's going to carry over to relationships, marriage, your partnerships with your, for work and friends and everything. And so now that I've been doing this work, I can just see it the way people talk. I can like
Yeah.
words that you tell me and then just their behavior. So I'm just like, wow, I don't even need to touch your body. I
You
already
got it
know
all. You just
you're it.
got it. Yeah. Isn't that
Yeah.
funny? It's a great thing though, right? Because what's so cool about it is you can look at somebody and be like, you know what they
Yeah.
need to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
but at the same time, they have to like initiate that. It has to be their thing, right? Like you can't be like, here's what I'm going to tell you need to do, right? Because they're not going to absorb it. They have to. I mean, our healing journeys were because we wanted to heal,
Yeah.
right? Like we
Oh,
no
we were done. I was like, I need to heal now. Like I'm so
yeah.
sick of
Yeah.
living this
No
way.
one
But you
if
have to
somebody would have came and told you had to heal, you'd been like, no,
I'm
you're telling me
okay.
yeah.
I'm all right doing the toxic stuff that I'm doing, going out with my friends and having drinks and going to, which I still like to go and
Yeah.
see live
And there's
music.
nothing wrong with that. Exactly.
It
Yeah.
was too much. Like
Yeah.
it was numbing. And so
Yeah.
that's where I had to take a step back, and I'm like, I have this like need to heal people. And it was like, it would hurt me when I would see them suffering. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
want to heal you so bad. So I'm like, no, that's their journey. It's not their time. They have to get to the point where it's like bringing the horse to water. You can't make it drink, or the
Right.
alcoholic. It's like they're not going to go to AA unless they hit rock bottom. So I'm like, okay, I can't heal everybody. I don't want to waste my time doing it now. And so I'm just going to focus on the people who are like me, who are absolutely ready. So I don't know, like getting older is just like that's the beauty and that's the wisdom of aging, is realizing your boundaries, not feeling guilty anymore because I'm such a people pleaser because of trauma. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because if you're okay, I'm okay. So I grew up like just serving everybody and putting everybody else cup first, and mine was always empty, but I was okay with that because I just like, it'll keep me safe.
Keep everybody happy. Yes.
Keep
Right.
everybody happy. And now I'm working on boundaries, and what you're supposed to be working on, because the universe will give that to you
Right.
over and over and over. And so I'm like, oh, I keep attracting people and situations in my life that they're testing my boundaries. So I'm meant to speak up and tell them that's not okay, which is like my worst nightmare. But boy, this past year taught me a lot of that, because I got a lot of lessons. And now I'm like, okay, speaking up before it gets out of hand. It's okay to like have a boundary. It's okay to say no. I'm like saying no, and I see the disappointment on people's faces, but I'm like, I have to be okay with that. And the more that you practice it, the more
Mhm.
you're like, oh my God, I'm honoring myself. And I see the disappointment on their face, but it's okay. They'll get over it. And I feel better as a human. I can give more. When I fill up my
Yeah.
own cup, then I have more to give. So it's like, it's just better for everybody.
I agree.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
it just takes time and practice. So whoever's listening to this and they're like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about, just take the first step and say your first no, make your first boundary, and it'll just get easier after that. And and then you'll have grace for the old person that you were. You're like, I didn't
Right.
have these tools, and that's all I knew. I was in survival mode. And so you honor that and you forgive that person that was you a week ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, 27 years ago, whatever it is, and you forgive that person for not knowing any better, which is yourself. And that's part of the healing process too, is forgiveness for yourself too, and having grace for yourself, because that was really hard for me, is to honor myself and put myself first. I thought it was so selfish, and um it's not. I'm seeing the benefits now, so it
Keep
just makes
working
me
on the being
happier.
side. You keep
Yeah.
working on you keep work the more you're right, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And a couple things with that saying no. I had a mentor that I worked with while I was in Mary Kay. That all those years I was in there, I had this great mentor, and she would say, like when you get in that position where you'd have to say no to somebody, it was really hard, and maybe it was somebody asking you to do something or whatever, you would just say, you know what, no. Thank you for thinking of me though, because it sort of released it. Like you said no, but you thank them for thinking of them kind of thing. So it
Right.
eased it. And it would make them feel better, because I don't know about you, but I'd find myself like over explaining why I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
doing something. And so now
I
I'm just
still
like,
do it.
yeah, no, I can't. It's so
Yeah.
funny. I would tell you a great way to really like curb that is,
Right.
if you can't answer right then and there, just pause on it. Just be like, let me think about that. And then that gives you time to
Yeah.
come back and say the no
Okay.
without being like, no, like reactionary, but also that you took the time to think about it, right? You
Right.
took the time, but also, unless it's just a strong no, some things are just no, no,
Nope.
no, no, no.
Bye-bye.
No, 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 right?
Nope.
But if it's
It's
something
a
where
hard no.
you're kinda going back and forth on it, I will
Yeah.
sometimes just sit back, and then I'll be like, "Jennifer, think about the values, like, how important is this? Why do we wanna do this? Are we doing this because we want to make somebody happy, or are we doing this because we really want to do it?" So if I just pause and I go back and ask these questions, it
Yeah.
really gets me grounded. And then I'll give you a good example today. Just today, I had a client that was wanting me to come by for a meet and greet, which is totally fine. I'm talking specifically on the pet sitting. I know I keep talking about that. That's because it's like
No, it's
crazy
part of
busy
your
right now.
life.
It's in my
Yeah.
head.
Yeah.
But one of the situations was, I realized that I was going into all this over explaining in this email. And I was like, you know what? Just stop. Just
You're
stop.
like,
Erase,
erase,
erase, erase,
erase.
erase, erase. Just erase it. And
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? No, I will meet him. I'm going to go. I will have the conversation with him in person. I will tell him because I was trying to avoid it by doing the email. And I
Oh,
realized I was typing this freaking long email out. And I'm like, this is so stupid because it's going to be much better if he's going to respect me if I have the conversation.
right.
So I just deleted the whole thing. I just deleted it all. And then, like you get these situations like that. And I think sometimes it's just good to just sit back for a moment because I think it teaches us patience too, right? Not to be
Yes.
reactionary and just pause.
Yes.
And then you can come back with that whatever that is. If it's no, thank you for thinking of me at this time, or no, I just can't do that right now. You
Yeah.
don't have to get into this whole
Yeah.
diatribe of explanation after that, which is what we
Right.
do because we feel the
Yeah.
need to please.
Yep.
Oh, such
Not
is.
anymore.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love what you're doing. But I want to ask you some other questions about your move into this because we could sit here, I know, all day and talk about
I
this stuff
know.
because I have so much on this too. And I
Totally.
think that, the healing in this is powerful. It's powerful. And
It's
I
so
love that
powerful.
you're done the work because it is.
Yeah.
I want to know with you moving from the corporate space into what you do, because those are two different areas. They're two different
Right.
fields. You came from sales and probably high pressure, I imagine. Say anytime you're doing sales, it's high pressure. I feel
Right.
like, and in corporate, it's very different than moving into the space where now you're kind of controlling the shots. You get to do what you really have your autonomy, your freedom, all these things to do. But I
Yeah.
would love to know, like, maybe because sometimes our listeners, we may have somebody right now sitting in this space that's going, okay, I really like all this deep work she's talking about too, but I'm also stuck because I want to get out of corporate and I want to get into doing my own thing and make this happen. Maybe like what were some of the things you had to work through going from that space to this space?
Yeah. Good question. It was the universe kind of shoved me. Like the universe kept getting me. No, okay, let's rephrase that. I kept getting laid off. And so I knew there was something bigger here. I'm like, okay, I'm a hard worker. I have a lot of knowledge. Like, why do I keep getting laid off? So it wasn't like, I guess it was an epiphany after that because
Yeah,
I was doing it kind of for friends and family or a little bit on the side. I was doing Reiki and sound healing.
right.
And then when I got laid off for the last time, like, okay, maybe I should just concentrate on doing this full time. Universe, if I'm meant to do this, like, let things open up for me. And so when I used to live in Orange County, I met a smaller company and they were working or they had a contract with a facility called Rowie, and it's for suicidal children. And
Mm,
so I was subcontracted to go in and do sound healing for the hour, or I would take fun oracle cards and then talk to them about spirituality and suicide. And if you do it, you're just going to come back and you'll have more karma. Let's give you the tools to get through this life and actually enjoy life. Like, there's a reason why you're here, and let's make life, even though the cards you were dealt are not your fault, but you can enjoy life because I've been there, so I can give my personal experience with them and look at, things can get better. And so I started with that and then doing private Reiki sessions out of my house. And then I found pure bioenergy because I knew I wanted to study with Dr. Amaral, but then he wasn't ready to teach yet. So I found another modality called pure bioenergy. And it's energy healing. And that's a very beautiful, powerful modality, but I still felt like something was missing. And so I just started doing stuff on the side. I'm like, okay, this is fun. Money started coming in. And then once I started studying with Dr. Amaral, I'm like, I found my modality. This is what I want to do. And so, yeah, I have private clients now. I work at a place called Rafi Lounge in Malibu. So I do sound healing there. I do energy healing there. And then I'm going to start doing retreats. I found a place actually yesterday in
yeah,
Malibu that I might start doing like corporate retreats. And so the stuff that you've done before, it's
yeah,
never a waste. You either
right,
learn knowledge from it or it's actually going to be incorporated with what you're doing now.
right.
And so, okay, I want to get into the corporate retreat space and I found something yesterday. So I want to start putting together plans for that and start marketing that. And then also, I had my undergarment business. I met somebody recently and we're going to create a clothing line. And
Fun.
so I'm like, okay, it doesn't
Yeah,
mean you have to just quit everything and become a
right.
healer full time because it's hard to like start out. It's just me. I'm divorced. My kids are older. I don't have support. And so to get clients right away and get like a business to, pay your bills right away, it's hard. And so sometimes you have to have the other job, the supplemental income while you're working on your practice. But then there's nothing wrong with also, I do have knowledge with corporate. Maybe I can start working with them on a wellness program
Mhm.
where to me and do somatic and do energy healing and sound healing and
Yeah.
other stuff. And then with the clothing line, like I'm going to incorporate healing into the clothing. And so
I
I'm
like
like,
it.
oh my God, the sky is the limit. And so you don't quote unquote have to be like, put yourself in a box, like a
Right.
healer, this, just when you work on yourself, like all the work I've done on myself, just your energy field alone is healing to people.
Mhm.
I see
Mhm.
it. When I come into the room, they're just like, they shift. I can see their nervous system drop. They talk to me and they're like, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm a healer. Like, I knew it. Just my energy field alone. So just so people know, it's like you don't have to be a practitioner doing private sessions or
Right.
be on stage and be talking. It can, if you do the work and you release this trauma and you do this or whatever you're needing to do to help your inner child and calm your nervous system, everybody is a healer. Everybody, like it says in the Bible, Jesus says everybody has healing abilities in their hands. If it's in your field, just sitting next to somebody is going to help heal them. So
Mhm.
put yourself in the box. This is the way it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
There's some healers who are working at the grocery store, slicing meat for you.
Right.
There's
Right.
some evolved souls that are here because I love Dolores Cannon. I love past life regression. Like I listened to that all, and she was like, the person, like the plumber coming to fix your shower. A lot of times those souls are more evolved, and they don't, they're here. Their energy field just coming into your home will
Yeah.
change your energy field. So there's so much more that we don't even realize going on with energy. So I just
Yeah.
want to tell that to people. Don't put yourself in a box of what it's supposed to look like. It can look like a bunch of different things. So
Yeah. I agree. It would be like me. I'm just crazy. I do a lot of different things because I get bored and I feel like I just got to put one more thing on the plate, you know?
totally, and your body speaks to you, Jennifer, so you have to, like, not do so much because that's,
Yeah.
like, body
Yeah.
is telling you slow down, and you're
Yeah.
like, "Okay," and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
"Uncle," and you're like, "Oh, okay, my neck, like, my jaw,
Yeah.
okay, I need
No,
to
I
rest."
agree. I agree. It's funny because no, I love that. I should say it's funny. I love that you said don't put all your eggs in one basket because I do agree with you on that. And I do think, and I'm guessing that your sales background is helping you because, like we said, the
Right.
nonlinear path. I always talk about this is that the things we learn, yes, obviously they carry over. It's a tapestry that
Yeah.
they move into the next phase. And if you can find what it was that you needed to learn there and take that with you, that's the blessing, right? And so
Yep.
I imagine that like myself having background in sales that walk into these next phases of business and you can navigate it much easier in the sense you still have to rebrand and like sort of you
Yep.
had to come from there to here, but now you've sort of built a base. And so anything that you introduce now, you're starting to have this platform where you can bring in these different things, and so
Right.
I think it's awesome. And that's what I mean by all of my stuff overlaps. I don't start random things like out there. Even
Right.
even when I tell people, it's so funny if you go to my profile, because I tell people like we work with the people and the furry friends because most of
Yeah.
us like furry friends. Most of us have a
Oh,
pet.
cool.
And
Yeah,
most of us, even if you think about in healing, pets can be very healing if you
they
if
do.
you
They're
treat
very
them
healing.
well. And I have often even said the reason that I do I love the pets. I actually love the pet sitting most of the time, a lot of times more than working with
Most people
people.
do because you like animals more than you like
Yes,
people.
and
You're un
because they don't talk back.
No, that's what they're examples of unconditional love and what that
Yes,
means.
yes,
And
they
they
teach
actually
us.
do, uh,
Yes.
like, on the spiritual side, I read a book, like, Tammy Bilford or something like that. She wrote a book on soul contracts with animals, and so the animals do have a soul contract with you, and a lot of times they will mirror the stuff that you need to work on. So if you have
Oh,
high
yeah.
anxiety, most of the time your dog's gonna have really high anxiety.
Yeah.
And if you help heal your dog's anxiety, yours will be healed and vice versa. And so
Yep.
animals are here definitely to help heal us. And so, yeah, I
I
mean,
know. I have
yeah,
a really
it's
good
so
story on
crafty.
that, just to your point. We all of our pets are rescues. But I will tell you this, like when I go into homes, like I can always tell, like it's so funny. I left a pet sitting today and they had 2 cats and 3 birds. It's a hilarious
Oh
thing. Cats
my.
and birds. And one of them is a conure, which is a very social bird. This is a
Okay.
funny story. I'd go in there. I was there for from Sunday. I only go in for like an hour and I leave. Okay.
Right.
But from Sunday to today. So it's Sunday to Friday. This is the date we're recording today. Every time I come in there, the cats figured out I'm the treat dealer, so as soon as I
Oh,
get in there, I had to go get the treats and toss the treats, but no
yeah.
kidding. I could just sit on that couch and they were all calm. The birds were calm, the cats were cats laying on the trampoline sideways, right? The
Aw.
minute I would get up to leave the room, no
Yeah.
kidding. If I just went
Yeah.
to the bathroom or
Uh-huh.
wherever, the bird would start squawking. I am not kidding. Every
Aw.
single time.
Want you to
So
leave.
I go out the door, the bird is the
Oh,
bird, and I'm laughing because I'm like, "Can the bird even see me in the freaking room? I'm over here and the bird knows
feels
I'm
you.
leaving the room." So you talk about energy, but
Yeah.
to your point, we rescued this pit bull, in 2014, and he had been a bait dog. They had fought this dog. He had like rope burns around his neck. Big.
Oh,
He was almost more like a bulldog type dog. I love that dog. He was my dog. He
aw.
followed me everywhere, slept by me on the side of the bed. I took that dog from being a bait dog all the way to this very loyal
Wow.
companion. And I have said this over and over. That dog taught me what it was like to rehabilitate a dog, a very stubborn dog, because pit bulls are very stubborn. You
Yeah.
have to bulldogs and pit bulls. You need to be a very strong owner. We have
Okay.
another pit bull, and she's crazy too. But that dog taught me a lot just about how to be strong,
Yeah.
steadfast. He was very loyal, very aim to please. In fact, when that dog passed, I was like devastated. I was
Oh,
just because he had been such a it just was a very rewarding experience for me because it
right.
just really taught. I'd never had a dog like that. I grew up
Oh,
around shepherds and Dobermans. I mean, I'd been around,
okay.
but I'd never had a pit bull, and they're just a very different
Different breed.
breed of animal.
Especially
Very,
coming from trauma and you're able to like transform him and to see him
yeah,
heal you when you healed him. And
yep,
that's
exactly.
correct between you guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It did a lot of work for me as well, and so
Right.
I have picture. It's funny. I still have a picture of him on my Facebook profile. But we have
What?
more dogs, and we've been through many that we've had for very long. We just had a pooch pass in January, and so they've all had great lives. But I agree, they do teach you unconditional love, and they can be very healing in a lot of ways. And so that's part of the reason why that's integrated into my work because I say
Right.
it's therapy sometimes,
It
like in a mean world, it is a great way to just decompress, relax, and you don't have to think. I mean, you just got to love them. That's all you got to do.
gotta love them. And then you
Yeah.
watch how they respond to your energy field and how you're feeling. Cause it's like
Yeah.
next time you notice, like when you're anxious, are the cats like, "Rah," and the birds like,
Yeah.
"Rah," but you're
Trying to bite
calm.
you. Yeah. And
And
I
they're
can
like,
tell
"Oh,
you.
don't leave."
Yes. I can tell you when I'm anxious, I know mine. I'm like, my cat's not eating. I'm like, Alfie, why are we not eating today? And I know when he knows I'm anxious, he's going to be anxious. So I just leave the room. I'm like, you know what? We're going to just
Yeah, because you don't wanna do that to him. You're like, "Okay, I'm gonna go breathe,
decompress.
say my
Yep.
affirmations, because I want you to have a nice time today."
Right.
And
I don't want
yeah.
you to bite my hand off is more
I know.
like
You're like, "Dang it, but that was my fault. It was my energy. You deserve to bite
oh,
me."
you can learn a lot. I tell you, life is fun. It really is. When you go in an exploratory mode
Yeah,
of learning and growth, it's really actually liberating in a way. And I don't know about you, but I've learned to in every situation, even if it's awful in the moment, I feel really awful. I have been able to learn to find the blessing and the meaning in those times. And so I think that's the beauty of all the work that we're doing here. So I wanna tell you, keep doing your thing because I think
thank
and
you.
I'm
You
I'm
too.
excited about your retreats. It sounds fun, and I think you should do them, and people need them,
You
people
need
need
'em.
them. So,
Yeah,
I got a fun question I wanna ask you before we get out of here.
okay.
What is I don't even know if it's fun, it's just I wanna know, like, what is one, like, like, self-care thing you do pretty much every day for yourself? Like, it's like your thing, like your I don't know what it is. Is it like your is it a meditation? Is it drinking tea? Is it what is that one thing you do?
Gosh, my new thing now is Qigong. And so
Mm.
I will wake up early in the morning, not by I don't mean to. It's just like for some reason my circadian rhythm is
Yep.
changing. So I'm like, okay, I need to go to bed earlier because I'm waking up earlier now. And I will make some matcha tea and I will put on whatever I'm feeling. Like this morning I did the liver qigong cleanse and then
Okay.
the kidney. So liver is like anger,
Yeah.
frustration, and
Right.
it could be from like past lives too, because I got a past life reading, and I'm like, whoa, I have a lot of stuff. We have stuff from past lives. If you
Yeah.
believe in it, I do. And then kidneys is like fear and survival. And so I was like, I know I have a lot of stagnation in both of those. So I did that and felt so much better. But I guess if you're asking, that is a new ritual that I'm starting to do. Yeah, I can't wait. Like I used to drink coffee. I love coffee, but I have a histamine intolerance, which I'm now learning it's like suppression of
Yep.
emotions, like
Yep.
autoimmune.
Yep.
I'm
That's
like,
I
of
was
course.
Yep, I
So
was reading up on that just the other day
oh
on
my gosh.
histamine.
So if you look up histamine foods
Yeah.
and drinks, it's everything that I ever eat or drink. And I'm like, great.
Yeah.
And so I've cut down on coffee. Tea is on there, but I feel like it's doesn't have as much histamine
Sounds
as
high,
coffee.
yeah.
So I do matcha and yerba mate. So that's the first thing when I wake up, I go and I make my ceremonial matcha. And it's just like I have it warm and then I'll drink like half and then start my qigong. Sometimes I will sit in silence with my tea and just connect with spirit,
Yeah.
meditate and say what messages you have for me today. Or my dream state is very, 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 very active, and so I will journal because I get messages through my dreams, and so
Okay.
stuff that's what I need to work on and currently
Yeah.
subconsciously, or I'll get like clairvoyant messages where stuff is going to come up, and I'm like, oh, okay, I need to remember this, and so. Sometimes I'll just go straight to my journal because it's fresh and I'm like, "Oh my god, I need to write this
Right.
down
Gotta
and
get it
put it."
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Well, I
those
drink
things.
green tea too. I drink green tea every single morning.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like that's like my coffee. I like it's weird. I actually like crave. I want like it's not a caffeine thing because I don't drink a lot of caffeine. It's
yeah.
just I want my green tea. And
Yeah.
sometimes I have another cup of it in the afternoon too because I'm like I need more green tea. And
Yeah.
so people are like
That's
I hate green
important.
tea. And I'm like when I went keto back in 2000, I guess 16 or so, I just that was one of the things that we had on the thing, and I just decided I liked green tea, and so I
Yeah.
put my little collagen in it in the morning, and
Yep.
stir my and I drink it with my breakfast. So I'm with you. I love it. So,
Yeah.
all
It
right.
is.
Well, Shannon, if our audience, somebody in here listening to this says, "Hey, I really like this gal. I want to follow her. I want to connect with her," where do we want to send them?
Yes. So my website is thegracefulhealer.com
Okay. Okay.
and my Instagram is thegraceful_healer.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll make sure when we get the show notes, usually we have something on the screen for the visual people, and then we put something actually in the show notes for the people that are reading it in the audio platforms too. So
Great.
hopefully, somewhere they're going to hear it, see it, something,
Yeah.
right? Maybe they'll feel it. I don't know. We'll send out some
Right.
vibes through the channel that
With the
go
energy I'll
follow,
pull.
right? Exactly. So, but no, this has been fun. It's been great. I've enjoyed chatting with you and learning about your work,
Same.
and I'm going to follow you so I can keep up with what you've got going on and
And I'll
and
see
then,
what
yeah, we'll stay connected and hopefully somebody listening to this will get inspired, whether they decide to learn one new thing or maybe explore, do some research, reach out, that kind of thing. I mean, really this whole show, what I tell people, the entire premise of the podcast, I would say has like really two missions. One, it is to show that there are people thriving and doing amazing things, but
right.
it's also to get people think. And what I mean by that is I don't ever want to be the person that says this is what you should do because I don't necessarily agree with every single person's modalities that come on here, but I do encourage the people that are watching the show to think. And that's
Thank
what it really is about is that I put stuff out there so people will go, maybe I should explore that and look into it and see maybe it's
right.
right for me. You know what I mean? And so that's what we do here is really just inspire people and get them to think. Inspire and think. That's what we're trying to do.
Gosh,
Inspire you to think.
and you're a
You know?
healer with your voice and then bringing
Yeah.
people together. So it's like to go back to real quick, like people who want to quit their corporate job, it's like you can talk to people and you're a healer and connecting people and the people who are meant to hear this, they will hear it and it'll resonate with them. The
I
other
agree.
ones, they'll hear it, maybe they need it in 5 years and they'll see the episode when it's time. So
Yep. Yep.
yeah, I just love
I
what you're
agree.
doing. So thank you so much for having me on. And it was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely, Shannon. Thank you so much. Of course, we want to say to the audience, we appreciate you. We love you. We hope you found this episode both informative and inspiring. And if you did, you know what to do. All the things, the like, the share, the comment, subscribe, go follow Shannon, check out her work, see what she's doing, keep up with her. And then, of course, as I always say, if you want to live the extraordinary, you got to start. And every start has to begin with a decision. You guys take care. Be safe, be kind to one another, and then we will see you next time.